Oh, yeah, switch on the mic. You're on. Good morning. My name is Catherine Wicks. I'm thrilled to welcome you to Unity of Dayton. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. And we also are on the radio in the parking lot, FM 105.3. And it's a beautiful morning, and we're very happy to see you. Okay, Unity of Dayton was founded on prayer. We'll start by closing our eyes for an opening prayer. Loving God, we are very thankful for this beautiful moment. May our days be filled with loving kindness. May our thoughts and words be filled with loving kindness. As we breathe in this intention for our day. We love you, God, and all that you show us daily, and we say thank you. Amen. If you have any requests for prayers, please send your prayer request to Reverend Sue at unityofdayton.org. Unity of Dayton is a beautiful New Thought community, and we would like to welcome all visitors for the first time. If you are on here for the first time, we'd like to welcome you and let you know that it's a loving environment here at Unity of Dayton. Also today, we have a guest, our favorite Reverend George Whitman. So let me tell you a little bit about him. Reverend George Whitton is a retired minister emeritus from the New Thought Unity Center of Cincinnati. He and his licensed teacher wife, Nancy, served there for over 25 years. They were also two of our 4 ministers who were the featured speakers of Unity of Dayton for almost 4 years. He is here today, visiting and delivering our message live from Wellington, Kentucky. Now we are going to read the daily word. The word for today is the Christ presence within me is my radiant source of God. On a clear day, when a stray cloud passes across the sun, I notice the light diminish. Then looking up, I see brilliant rays of sunshine surrounding the clouds. Instead of hiding the sun, the clouds help me see and appreciate the sun's radiance. As the sun lights the earth and is the source of our energy, the Christ, the divine presence within me, is my light and source of everything that I need in order to live brilliantly and joyfully. When, like a passing cloud, an obstacle of challenge along my path may seem to diminish my Christ light, I respond by looking up and raising my point of view. I am reassured and strengthened, knowing that divine radiance is shining as brightly as ever. No clouds can dim the divine light in me. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. John 1:5. First, I wanted to tell you our affirmation for the day. I'm going to say it, and could you please repeat it after me? I live a life filled with kindness and happiness. Together, I live a life filled with kindness and happiness. And now it is time to prepare for meditation. In the stillness of this moment, there is love, there is love. In the stillness of this moment, there is love, there is love, and I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is love. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am peace. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am love. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am peace. I am, I am, I am.
Well, let's continue to relax. And let's just settle back into our chairs and just allow our chairs to fully support us. No stress, no strain. We calm our minds as we take a deep breath. And we just gently allow the presence of God to rise up from within us and wash over us. This morning, we remind ourselves that we are one with God and one with each other. We aren't separate. We are connected in spirit. And as we awake to this realization, we come to know that we're all on this journey together. And because of our connectedness with each other, we care about the world and we care about everyone in it. For we know that there's a loving presence in us that causes us to want to be there for each other, that causes us to want to support each other. Offering support to others is an activity that blesses the giver and the receiver. I'm sure that all of us would like to live a life filled with happiness. And we know that each time we reach out to another and offer them our support, we extend a blessing to them as we also bless ourselves. Every day presents us with the opportunity to focus on the true source of happiness that is residing within ourselves. A spiritual law says, whatever we give to ourselves. So as we make a conscious effort to extend love, to extend caring and nurturing, we extend that to others, and we not only create a blessing for them, but we bless ourselves as well. Let's just take that thought and those ideas into the silence for just a moment. As we consciously focus on God's indwelling presence, we naturally begin to extend kindness, love, and caring to others. And as we extend a blessing to others, we bless them and we bless ourselves as well. Truly, as we do, we create a life filled with kindness and happiness. And it is in that experience that we are blessed, and we say thank you and amen.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. I am filled with loving kindness. May I be well. I am peaceful and at ease. I am happy. I am happy. I am happy.
Well, good morning. Always glad to connect up with you folks at Unity of Dayton. Always a pleasure. Well, there's an expectation, I'm told, that I always start with a story, a funny story. And today's no different. I've got one for you. It turns out that a young man knew that his father, his grandfather, and great-grandfather had all walked on water on their 21st birthday. Hard to believe, but true. So, on this young man's 21st birthday, he went to a friend. They got in a canoe, a boat, and they rowed out to the middle of a lake. And his thought for himself was, if they can do it, I can do it. Well, they paddled to the middle of the lake, and the young man stood up, took a deep breath, and confidently stepped out of the boat onto the water. And he nearly drowned. Well, after his friend helped him back in the boat and they got back to the shore, he was very much ashamed of himself, and the young man went to see his grandmother. And he told her what had happened. And he said, why can't I walk on water like my father and his father before him. They all walked on water on their 21st birthday, and I tried on mine, and I couldn't do it. Well, the grandmother took the young man's hands, looked him in the eyes, and said, "Well, dearest, they were all born in January, and you were born in July." All right, then. So how many of you watching or listening would like to have more joy and happiness in your life? Now, for those of you who said no, you just don't want any more happiness in your life, you may have tuned into the wrong Facebook or internet connection. This talk may not be for you. But I think for most of us, the happier, the better. Even though that may be true, handling the challenges of life can make us anything but happy. We often find ourselves keeping busy, doing what needs to be done, and having the experience of living a happy life. Well, that can be very elusive. So some might ask, well, what creates happiness anyway? And I would say it has a whole lot to do with consciousness. We're all in the process of building a consciousness of how we relate to life in every moment of every day. The question I think to be asking ourselves is, what kind of consciousness are we building? Well, Unity teaches that we're created in the image and likeness of God. And that means that if we see God as our creator and we've been created in God's image, then we too have been empowered, inherited the ability and the power of creation itself. And that would include the power to create a happy life. That's the good news. Now, for those of you who could live life and never have any challenges, I have some, and think that you would never have any challenges. It'd be great to live life and not have challenges. But I have bad news for those of you who think that way. You were born on the wrong planet. You see, as far as I can tell, on this planet, all of us have challenges from time to time. It's just the way life is. And so our mission for today is to see how we can meld those two ideas together, knowing that we've been created in God's image and likeness with the power of creation. And at the same time, we have the tools to deal with the challenges of life on our human journey. There's an affirmation that says this: there's a power in me that's greater than the obstacles that I face. There's a power in me greater than the obstacles I face. You might want to affirm that for yourself. There's a power in me greater than the obstacles I face. And because we've been endowed with this power to create, we have many options. But if you'd humor me for just a moment, let's jump ahead and ask ourselves this question: what do I want to create anyway? And why do I want to create it? Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and make an assumption. It gets a little risky when we start making assumptions. But I'm going to make an assumption that what we really want to create in our life is a happy life. We all want to live a life of happiness. So if we'd like more happiness, more joy in our lives, wouldn't it make sense to implement the spiritual law of giving and receiving? We create more happiness for ourselves by offering and supporting others and creating happiness for themselves. So today, I want to explore with you a path to happiness, regardless of your profession or your vocation, regardless of the obstacles you think are in the way. There is a path to happiness that is available to all of us right here and right now. Now, there's a spiritual law that says whatever we give to ourselves. So what if we want a life filled with the experience of happiness, of love, and of kindness? What are we called upon to do? Well, I'd say we're called upon to offer love, to give kindness, and to support others. Isn't that what we want for ourselves? If it is what we want for ourselves, we're called upon to offer that to others. I believe there's something in us, call it God, love, or goodness, nurture, whatever you want to call it. When we're willing to extend those qualities of love, of caring, and nurturing to others, we're not only going to extend a blessing to them, but at the same time, we're going to extend a blessing to ourselves. There is a loving essence at our core. Knowing there's a loving presence within us and at our core, it's good to know, but honestly, it's not enough just to know it. Unity's fifth principle says this: through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. We live the truth we know. Now, for me, the key word in that principle is action. It's the expression, if you will, of our loving essence that matters. In Burlington, we'd say that's where the rubber meets the road. It's when we're willing to take action, to bring God's loving presence within us, through us, and out into the world. That is when our loving nature comes alive as a blessing. Have you heard the expression, it never hurts to be kind? You know, being kinder to others, when we are willing to do that, we're more likely to be kinder to, guess who? Ourselves. Now, it may sound a bit odd, but when we're kinder toward others, then our own self-esteem goes up, it rises, and we feel better about ourselves. Simply put, being kinder makes our own world nicer, happier, and yes, a kinder place to live in. Now, a few years ago, Professor Laurie Santos of Yale University created one of the most popular courses in the history of Yale, and it's one of the most talked about college courses in America. And what, pray tell, was the name of her course? Well, it was called Psychology and the Good Life. Sounds like a course we might want to offer at Unity. Now, she created this course because she just wanted her students to be happy. She says that college students are much more overwhelmed, much more stressed, much more anxious, and much more depressed than they've ever been. And then she goes on to say, sadly, I don't think it's just about college students, and I concur. I don't think it is either. So a couple years ago, before COVID, if we can remember such a time, before COVID, America was ranked 18th in the UN's World Happiness Report. Finland was ranked number 1, Canada number 7, Australia number 10. But once again, the US was ranked 18th. Now, according to that ranking, it looks like we Americans are not that good, not very effective at creating happiness. Now, Professor Santos goes on to say that happiness takes practice. Now, if you want to practice something, first, you're going to have to figure out what it is. What exactly happiness is what we need to know before we can practice it. Now, her course begins with the idea that our minds are very good at persuading us to follow intuitions about happiness that frankly turn out to be not true. She suggests we start by making a list of those things that would make us happier. Make a list of those things that would make us happier. Now, they can be big things. They can be a raise, or moving to a new city, or getting married, or finding a new partner, or they can be small things like, whatever looks good on the vending machine display. So right now, I want to give you just a moment. We don't need a long list. Maybe think of one or two things. We'll just take a few seconds, a few things that if you could have those, it would make you happy or happier than you are right now. Go ahead and do that. I'll give you just a second or two. All right. Now here's the kicker. Whatever things you wrote down that you thought would make you happy, Dr. Santos says it's probably wrong. She says nearly everything that we think would make us happier won't. And to that response, I would have to ask, why not? Seems like it should. Well, she says because nearly everything on our list is some outer directed change. More money, a different job, a new home, a long vacation, maybe even that enticing snack on the other side of that glass on the vending machine. Now, our minds are constantly telling us, if we just got those things, if we could have those things, if we could have those accomplishments, accomplish those goals, then truly, finally, unequivocally, we'd be happy. But is it true? Now, here's some research that I found that I thought was pretty amazing. A study was done at the University of California at Riverside that shows that roughly 50% of happiness is determined by our genes. Can you believe that? 50% of our happiness is determined by our genes. That means that 50% of our being happy is totally out of our control. We can't do anything about it. Now, the study goes on to say that approximately 10% is determined by our circumstances, by our environment, the family we grew up in, and everything around us. And that's somewhat out of our control, how we relate to those things. But that means the good news is that 40% of our happiness is in our control. 40% is determined by our thoughts, our actions, and our attitudes. I think that's very Unity-like. Now, some might ask, what do happy people do to experience more happiness than the average bear? Dr. Santos says that happy people devote time to family, time to friends. They practice gratitude. They practice optimism, and they're physically active. They savor life's pleasures, and they try to live in the present moment. Many of us Unity folk, we already know that being more optimistic, more grateful, more positive, and living in the present moment, that's going to lead to greater happiness. We might already even know that being grateful and to practice mindfulness and savoring the moment will add to our happiness. There's always that one part of us, though, that one part that wants to skip ahead to the part where we talk about money. What about money? Well, we've all heard the saying, money can't buy happiness. It's an old expression that we learned a long time ago, and we may believe it intellectually up here. Yeah, that makes sense. But there's a big part of us that thinks money can buy us happiness, right? So here's some research that you might find somewhat interesting. A family of four making $30,000 a year is about at the poverty level. Now, when you ask that group, what kind of annual salary would they like that would make them truly happy? Well, the average answer that they gave, what would you guess? The average answer they gave was $50,000 a year. Now, interestingly, when you ask that same question of people making $100,000 a year, what do you think they would say? You might think, well, they double it to 200. They could say that. But instead, what they actually said on average is that if they made $250,000 a year, then they'd be truly happy. But the point of all this comparison is no matter what we're making, our thought generally is, if I make more, then I'll be happy. Well, you might think that means that there's no set amount of money that can bring us happiness, but that's not exactly true either. Nobel Prize winning economists found that when they studied 1,000 American households, they found that in fact, there is a set amount, and that amount happens to be $75,000 a year. That's still a lot of money. They found that well-being rises until you get to that income level of $75,000 a year. Beyond that, there really isn't any appreciable increase in happiness with making more money. So the question for some of us might be, well, what if we're not making $75,000 a year? Well, it turns out you don't need $75,000 a year to be happy. Once our basic needs are met, we need things to survive, like clothing and lodging and food, and those things we need to keep us out of survival, if you will. Once that's achieved, the relationship between money and happiness becomes purely theoretical, academic. It really doesn't matter that much. Harvard psychologist Dan Gilbert says that happiness isn't something we chase or achieve, but rather something we manufacture. Said another way, in Unity terms, we don't find happiness, we create it. We create happiness. And every day we have the opportunity to focus on the true source of happiness, and that happens to be residing within ourselves. Happiness, in the end, it's a mindset to be cultivated. It's an inside job. Remember that spiritual law that we talked about earlier that says, whatever we give to ourselves? Well, if we make a conscious effort to extend those qualities of giving love, of caring of others, of nurturing others, we'll not only create a blessing for them, but to ourselves as well. And that's for me. Today is an opportunity to savor life's pleasures by living in the present moment. It's a wonderful day to be more optimistic, to be more grateful, to be in touch with those blessings that we already have, and even to be more optimistic and grateful and more physically active. Call a friend, tell them you'd like to go for a walk. Maybe call someone else or connect with somebody else and tell them how important they are in your life and how much you care for them. Today, we're reminded that happiness isn't something that we chase or achieve, but rather it's something we create. We don't find happiness, we create it. And today is a day burgeoning with the possibility of God love being expressed into the world through you. And as you do, you'll be creating a life filled with kindness and happiness. I love you, I bless you, and I behold God's love expressed through you. And thanks for tuning in today. Much love.
Well, now we are going to give thanks for our gifts and tithes. Thank you all for your gifts and tithes, and you can give money through our website, unityofdayton.org, and there's PayPal, and also you can write a check and mail it. That's another choice. We're going to hold that gift in our hands, and just remember that when we send it out there, we're in that beautiful flow of giving and receiving. And right now we're going to say our prayer of thanksgiving. When we say it, we'll say it a second time together. Okay. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. If you could say that now. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we say, thank you, God. Amen.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 I'm so grateful.
And now we have all of our announcements for the 1st of August. You can listen to the 11 a.m. Sunday service on 105.3 FM. You can bring your lawn chair and maybe snacks, and there's you can have some social distancing and under the trees by the church. Also, restrooms are available. Cleanup Day. Please join us for another cleanup day on Saturday, August the 21st from 9 till 1. We are meeting in fellowship to prepare and clean up the church for a reopening day of September 12th. We have a lot to do. The main focus will be cleaning, arranging, decluttering, and reconnecting. We have all the cleaning supplies, and we look forward to seeing you there. Okay, study groups. We have a study group with Reverend Sue Byron and other truth students on Zoom to share their current spiritual practices and how they are impacting your soul's journey. The text being used is The Endless Practice, Becoming Who You Were Meant to Be by Mark Nepo. The study group is on Fridays from 1 to 2:30. There are 6 dates planned for the summer. See Unity website or newsletter for class dates and other details, or contact Reverend Sue at revsue@unityofdayton.org. We also have our beautiful women's group. They are studying the New Earth, Wednesdays from 10 till noon. Now they're meeting in person and online, and that is Venus Rising, a wonderfully fun group. Also, there is Exploring Ascension Energies with Dan Studebaker, the first and third Wednesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. For a Zoom invite, please contact unityofdayton.org. So there we have it. And now we're going to do our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God washes over us. Wherever we are, God is, all is well. well. And remember, you are the light of the world. 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 You are the light. So let your light so shine. So let your light so shine. So let your light so shine. Let your light shine. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. You are the light.